Hello, Canada. I wanted to take a few minutes today and talk about a few things and touch on the subject of the difference between a protester and a patriot. So I'll start with the legal definition of protest, which essentially means to whine and complain about something but ultimately accept it anyway. Why is this important to know? Because legal definitions and the legal construct of things controls every aspect of our life. You need a lawyer to navigate through this complicated paperwork to do anything important, any decision making you do in your life, whether you're starting a company, getting married, getting divorced, etc., etc. Now, there's a lot of people out here that are confused on which is which and what they're standing for, and I'm hoping that this will help clarify a little bit. If you haven't woken up to the fact that all the governments are corrupt and each of our successive governments have sold out our sovereignty in one way or another, or betrayed us, or are being paid to perpetuate a new world order, one world government, United Nations agenda. And if you actually think that voting for some corrupt politician is going to change any of this, then you're probably just a protester. If you're wearing a yellow vest and claiming to be fighting for our rights and the freedom of speech and all that, but you are behind closed doors censoring us and trying to dictate even what we can wear on our patches or bring our banners, etc., then you are probably just a protester. And even worse than that, you're part of the problem. Now, I joined this movement because it represents actual change. I've never been a protester in my life. I've never been an activist, but this was something I could get behind because there was a solution that I saw that was being brought forth. And I knew about this at the very beginning of this movement, early December in Canada. I knew about this from paying attention to what was going on with France, because they're ahead of us by a month or so. I knew that 80% of the population was pushing for the referendum initiated by citizens, and that represented something powerful, something that we could use to actually get change and get accountability from our corrupt governments. So I jumped into this movement feet first, ready to go, ready to do whatever I could to raise awareness and to help my country, help my children's future. And for the first few weeks of this movement, we were able to adopt the 5-point principle that France was using, which basically stated that there was no political affiliation allowed, no religious affiliation allowed. We only focused on the solutions being brought forth, like the RIC and things that could bring meaningful change. We kept things with peaceful protests and civil disobedience, however we could, to disrupt the system without turning to violence. These were the original 5-point mission statement for the Yellow Vest movement. And essentially this is all we needed, because the RIC, the RIC, had the power to address and change every one of Canada's problems. So when other people were coming through with these lists and mandates about 4 or 5 things to protest, the pipelines, the UN Migration Pact, carbon tax, etc., we felt that this movement was just becoming a protest. You were taking the heart of it away, and then we got censored. So this was allowed for the first couple weeks, where our 5-point mission statement was posted on all the United pages and everything, and then after about 2.5 weeks, they removed it and put their own mandate up and wanted us to focus on just 3 or 4 of the minor issues. This essentially turned what could have been a great awakening movement into just a protest. As I said, a protest is to whine and complain about something, but ultimately accept it anyway. And if we're not going to bring forth a solution, then we are just accepting this bullshit. If you care about your children's future, and you realize that our government is corrupt and it has been accountable for a very long time, then you're a patriot. And congratulations, you've earned your yellow vest, and you should be out here with us, supporting us, and getting the word out. If not, and like I said, you think voting a corrupt politician is going to change any of this, then you're just a protester. And I don't know why you've even joined this yellow vest movement to corrupt it. As far as I'm concerned, anybody who is advocating for a politician or has political ties should just go home, take their vest off, and wait till election time, and leave the actual problem solving to people who want a solution. If you are just a protester and you think this is all going to go away come next election, then yeah, I don't know what to say. You'll see when the next governments don't change anything. And I want you to remember that we'll be here. We'll still be advocating for the RIC, and you'll know how to find us. Yeah. We actually care about your future and your freedoms, and we're going to be fighting until we see some change. So when you guys are sick of protesting and not having any viable solutions and not getting any real change, we're happy to have you. And thank you for your time.